after you've got the color wheel and shading, you have the hardest part, which still isn't that hard, learning how to draw what you're actually seeing. This is only hard because you have to train yourself to do it, unless you already are really good at it. Kudos to you. And even if you don't want to draw realistically later, knowing how to do it is going to help you learn how to improve. Because like I said, you want to draw people accurately when you're not looking at them for a comic. If you're practicing by drawing real humans actually punching and kicking, you are going to have a real person that you practice drawing the muscles of. So now you know how big each muscle is, how far away it goes, what it looks like from the front view versus the side view. And you have that real person to base whatever you're drawing on. And since you've practiced, you kind of know what looks right and what looks wrong, and now you know if you're exaggerating or not and if you want to do it. So improving for me has always been, I'm not good enough at something. Say I'm not good enough at drawing hair. I would find a picture of somebody who has hair I would like to learn how to draw and practice drawing it exactly how it looks so that I get better at it. Same thing when I don't know how to draw somebody kicking towards the camera or towards the front of the page. Find a picture of somebody kicking at the screen and practice drawing it exactly how it looks so I know how it's supposed to. That's how I get better. If I don't know how to draw a bird or a tiger, I find a picture of a bird or a tiger and I practice drawing it how it looks. So I know how big the eye is supposed to be, what the beaks actually look like. And just doing that helps you gain any technical skills you're lacking. So if you ever don't know how to draw anything, this is what you do. You learn how to draw what's actually there. And then with practice, you'll be able to draw it without a picture at all or a live example. Now there are a few exercises I know that help teach you to draw what you're actually seeing. Excuse me, that's my notes. The first is pretty easy. You find a picture of something you'd like to draw. You grab a blank piece of paper. Fold the picture you want to draw into a grid. So like fold it in half again, there's 4 pieces. Or fold it 3 times, so there's 9 pieces. Whatever way you folded the picture, now fold your blank piece of paper exactly the same. Unfold both of them. Now you have grids on both papers that are the same. Start drawing what's in each grid into your blank piece of paper grid and go 1 grid at a time. Do not try to draw past your lines. Draw what's in the first picture's grid and then draw that same thing on the blank piece of paper grid, square by square. This will train you to stop seeing your symbols, because say your grid went through somebody's eye. So you have to draw this part of the eye. Okay? If you only see this part of the eye, you can't draw an oval in a circle because that's not what's in that grid piece. What's in that grid piece is a weird arch for your hair and like a weird teardroppy shape for the eye. So you have to practice drawing that and shading that exactly how it is in the grid. And that will train you to get your proportions better because you have a grid. So if you draw something too big, you'll be like, why is it taking up the whole grid? On the picture, it's only a quarter of the grid square. And you'll realize, oh, I'm drawing it too big. And if you draw something as an oval, all of a sudden it'll fit in 1 grid when it really goes in 2, and you'll go, oh, I'm putting it in the wrong place. Oh, it doesn't really look like that. And you'll train yourself to draw what's actually there. For an example, this is a picture of Rihanna I drew many years ago. It's not perfect. I wasn't as good as I am now, but it was drawn with a grid. I folded up a picture of Rihanna from a magazine, folded up this piece of paper, and drew what was in each grid. It really helped me with lips, because lips do not look like what you think lips look like, at least in my case. Lips are a lot squigglier, chins are a lot squigglier than I'm used to. So, even though I couldn't draw very well realistically, a grid helped me draw this. And if you can't draw somebody realistically, this is a great way to be doing it really well. Because you're really just drawing small squares of pieces of the picture. You're not really drawing the eyes and the nose and stuff. So that is the first exercise you can do to train yourself to draw what you're seeing. Another exercise is you take a blank piece of paper, look at an object, or persons are harder, so start with an object, and you're going to draw this object. So I looked at a flower in my example. Now you're going to take a drawing utensil, whatever it is, you're going to put it down on the paper, you're going to draw what you're looking at without lifting your utensil at all. You're going to keep your pencil or whatever on the paper the whole time you're drawing it. You are not going to lift it, and you are not going to look down at the paper. You're going to only look at this object until you are done drawing it, and you are not going to lift your pen until you are done drawing it. Give yourself 1 to 2 minutes. Don't spend too much time on it because you don't get to look down and see what it looks like. Once the 1 or 2 minutes are over, then you can look down. And once you look down, you're going to see how accurate was I. Did you draw things too big? Did you draw lines that were really shadows that you could have skipped because they're not really part of the outline? I think it's called contour drawing, but if you search, I think, contour drawings on Google, or you'll find lots of examples of people who did this. It is really good for teaching you how to see the actual edges of things. So what's actually the side of my face and my body versus this line that's unnecessary to draw because it's really just a shade, this line that may be unnecessary to draw unless you think it's important as an artist. And it's also really good for helping you figure out what parts of something are you exaggerating in your head. So if you draw a lamp and the lampshade's freaking huge in your drawing, but in real life it's only 1/3 of the lamp, you've now realized you draw the lampshades too big and you need to work on that. So only take 1 to 2 minutes when you do it. It doesn't matter how weird it looks. It's going to help you. Just your trust in your own hand to do what your mind is telling it to do. A good example of a contour drawing would be these. Water bottle, a TV, some hands, a guy. These are examples I looked up so I would know how you're supposed to do it. And flowers. But these are examples of contour drawings where you look at the thing, put your pen utensil down on the paper, draw what you see, and then when you're done, look at what you just drawn. That is good practice for getting used to drawing what you're looking at and not the symbols, and also good practice with kind of proportions because you're relying on what you're looking at, not relying on what you think it should be the size of. It's a really good thing to practice when you're trying to get better really fast and you don't have the patience to just practice a lot. These drawings help you learn faster, even though they will make you very frustrated because you can't look down until you're done. And the last way to improve drawing what you see faster is to find a piece of artwork you really like. Think of any artist you love, any piece they've ever done, that picture. Print that picture. Print it. You are going to remake it yourself. You're going to take a piece of paper or a canvas, and you are going to draw or paint or whatever they did to make it on your blank page. You are going to remake it yourself. You're not going to trace it. You're going to look at it and try to draw the exact same thing on the new page. It's hard. It's very hard. You may decide to draw grids to make it easier. Now, what does doing this do? It's going to help you learn how that artist draws. If you really like that artist, you want to know how Van Gogh paints. You have to practice painting how he paints to make that picture. So you're going to kind of figure out how he paints what he does, how he does those big strokes, because you have to do it yourself. So you have to figure out yourself how he did it. So doing this is going to teach you a lot that you don't know, and it's going to teach you how to do what your favorite artist does, which is something you probably want to learn how to do anyway. Here's an example I did in high school. I really liked this concept artist for Disney. This is a concept art they did of Ariel. I really liked it because it had a painterly style, and I'm not good at painting without lines. And it also had a very dark, unsaturated color scheme. And I usually paint with really bright colors, so I thought it would be good to learn how to color with less bright colors and how to paint without any lines. So I made a copy of it, freehand. And as you can see, it's not perfect. I used brighter colors because I cannot control myself. But I learned a lot about drawing without lines. I didn't do perfectly. The face is not as good as the face in this drawing that the original artist did. And I'm not sure why I added so much gold. I'm just obsessed with bright colors. I'll give you a comparison. So practicing this made me more confident about painting skin and shading with paint. It made me more confident about human anatomy and not relying on lines so much. Doing this kind of stuff, that was by Lisa Keene, by the way, At Odds with the Sea. She's an amazing artist. Love all their work. She did a lot of concept artists for Rapunzel too. Very cool. Anyway, redrawing something by your favorite artist is a good way for you to practice, to figure out how to mimic the part of their style you like. So if you like some comic artist and they really use bright colors, it will teach you to use bright colors like they do and how they use those colors so that when you make your own stuff later on, you will be more confident using bright colors too. And also it's always good practice for your anatomy and stuff because you're drawing something that a professional to you already made and is already pretty natural looking. So yeah, the last exercise is trying to recreate one of your favorite artist's things. It's cool for you because you can now hang it up in your room or your house if you like it. And even if it totally sucks, you are going to learn something about how your favorite artist does something. So you're going to learn what they learned somewhere along the road. And that's a good way to draw what you're seeing because you're still practicing drawing what you're seeing in this picture because you have to remake it. But you're also practicing a whole bunch of other skills that you may not have been practicing with drawing the grid pictures or drawing the contour pictures. So yeah, that's about it. Those are the 3 core things you need to start doing to start improving really fast. You can improve really fast without all these things, but you're going to run into a place where you're going to go, I really need to shade for this picture. I want it shaded. I don't know how. And knowing how to shade means you already know how. You can shade anything. It's just practice. So yeah, I hope these tips help. I think they're the foundation for learning everything else about art. Once I learned these 3 things, I was able to improve way faster than I improved the first 10 years I was drawing. Color wheel meant every color scheme I made was really cool. And when I started experimenting, I was confident that at least I knew how to do it nicely, even if my new experiments were crazy. And learning how to draw what I was actually seeing was huge for me because I used to draw heads too big and shoulders too small. And I finally trained myself to actually see what I'm drawing, and that means I can draw pretty much anything I can find a picture of now. Pretty close to accurately. So as an artist, that makes it easier because now all I have to worry about is coloring and composition. I don't have to worry about, can I draw a face doing this? Yes, I can. If I just took a picture of that, I could draw it. So practice doing the last exercises if you want to get better at realism or learn how to draw specific things. Practice the color wheel and shading just so you know you have those skills in your toolbox. And you should be set to learn whatever you want to learn about drawing. Really, that's about all the professionals know. They just know that and years of experience experimenting with those things they know. Okay, sorry it was really long-winded. I just wanted to teach you guys everything you need. You know everything now, guys. Good luck. I want to see your art. Send me some of your art or a link to it so I can look at your beautiful art on DeviantArt or Tumblr or wherever it is, or Instagram, because I'm sure it's amazing because everyone can draw if they try. You can. I want to see. I bet it's amazing. Okay.